Peace, 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 y'all. Peace to the family, peace, love, and light. Peace, greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is your brother. Peace, y'all. Greetings and welcome back to another live, right? We live from the chamber, right? So we could definitely put it under that particular perspective. Peace, love, and light, live from the chambers. Your brother Blue Pill, live and direct. It's a whole lot going on. I'm going to attempt as best as I can to touch on a multitude of points within an hour. You feel me? There's a lot of ground to cover. There's so many things going on. And I'm going to attempt as best I can to sum up as many things as I can in a short amount of time and make it coherent. You know what I'm saying? Show the continuity across these timelines and these storylines, so we can weave it together and put some things in perspective, and stop letting everything go totally over our heads. You know what I'm saying? And just drawing emotion from all of these narratives, all of these stories taking place. All right? So I'm going to give y'all a second to tap in. Let the family know that we're going live. You might want to even screen record. You know how these lives go. The minute we start making these connections and making these profound connections, all of a sudden these lives get cut mysteriously. You feel me? So I already know what's going on. So yeah, y'all. Peace to the family. Peace, y'all. What's good with you? Right? Let me start off by asking you that. How's the family doing today on this Thorsday? Thursday is one of those days. It's a magnanimous day. It's a big day. It's the BIG day, because it's the day that's governed by Jupiter. You know what I'm saying? And the color of Jupiter is purple. It's a royal color. So I'm tapping in here. I'm at the royal chamber. We're about to open in about 20 minutes or something like that. We still getting it cleaned up, right? The lady's here, she getting it clean and everything, and the family's in the back in the kitchen, getting that kitchen ready. Today is not gonna be the beginning of Throat Chakra Thursday, but I'm sure that people are gonna be pulling up. You know what I'm saying? People gonna be pulling up. We still gonna be doing dry runs of Throat Chakra Thursday. I'll be performing some of my pieces, and I'm sure there's other poets and vocalists that's gonna be pulling up to the building. So we're gonna have a nice time today here in the Royal Chamber. You know what I'm saying? Getting some of this commentary out, but I got too much commentary that I need to get out, even before the fact. Why is this energy different today? I can't necessarily say per se. Today feels very transitioning, like moving from one season to the next. But yes, this is the Royal Chamber. What I can say is that the last few days, the weather's been changing. Today, the weather is like summer-like almost again. So it's almost like, it's taking us back to the memories of summer. It has not been going in line with the weather changes that we've been noticing over the past few days, which have been ushering us into fall. We just experienced the fall equinox. We just crossed over into this fall season. So it's always going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be somewhat undifferentiated. And today is the 29th, I believe. Today's the 29th. So anytime that you arrive at the number 29, the 29 is a critical degree, right? In astrology and astrological ciphers, 29 is a critical degree. You know what I'm saying? And anything that's critical is going to feel critical. Anything that's critical is going to feel like, almost like a mother when she's going through labor. That's what 29th degree represents. You feel me? So we could be going through a level of trepidation because of the change of seasons. Anytime you go through seasonal changes, it almost feels like you're trying to make your way through a air duct. You know what I'm saying? It's very it's like a close containment. You know what I'm saying? The energy is just real. The air is real thin during these periods and times, if you will. Right? So there's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. Vacuum, yeah, that's the word that I'm looking for. I'm gonna start somewhere. I could just spin the wheel and just start selecting from so many narratives and stories that's popping up. But this one in particular, I pay attention to anything that my twin doppelgangers do. So one of my twin doppelgangers is Boosie. You feel me? Boosie is born on our birthday, just like King Charles is born on our birthday. So I pay attention to Boosie, the doppelganger. You know what I'm saying? Because both of these guys have the messenger card, right? Both of these guys have the John the Baptist card. And when I was doing my research for this hurricane, one of the very first things that I had to do, because I failed to take notice when the last hurricane hit. Damn, what was her name? We just had the hurricane, Fiona, yeah. So Fiona just blew through here, and I didn't jump on that narrative and really put it in perspective astrologically and etymologically like I normally do. So Fiona was a biggie, you know what I'm saying? Because all of the etymology that you need to see about these being divine times and nothing being by chance, you could have bore witness to that if you research Fiona and the etymology of the word Fiona. You know what I'm saying? Fiona was given exactly what it was meant to give etymologically, and it also equates to the number 9. Now, we know that Fiona's energy was tied into this whole narrative with the queen. And you see how they ritualize the queen. You know, her transitioning on 9/8, being buried on 9/19. You know what I'm saying? 9 representing completion. You feel me? Her being 96 years old. You know, her husband having transitioned on 4/9 at 99 years old. King Philip, you know, the same day the DMX transitioned. So the 9s run very, you know, the ending of the monarch was signaled with the death of this queen. I don't care what nobody say. The shit is a wrap. And if you believe different, something's wrong with you. You need your head checked. You know what I'm saying? But we saw the death of a dynasty, the death of a monarchy. You know what I'm saying? And something that's very nefarious and reptilian and has ramification in multiple realms, not just this one, because these people's, you know, they dragon energy, something totally different. So Fiona was a giveaway. So then when I went and I looked up Ian, you know, the etymology of Ian is very interesting as well, because the etymology of Ian is John. Right? The etymology of Ian is the word John. Now, since I enacted Pope Pablo, I'm always on the lookout for John. Right? John and Paul go hand in hand. So every time that I've been, that I have incited fanaticism amongst Christians, when I do my Pope Pablo thing on the mountains, there's always Christian zealots that pop out of nowhere, and they seemingly attempt to attack us before, you know, I give them a tongue lashing, set them straight, and then they become converts. You know what I'm saying? But this time was different. When we went to the mountain on 9/11, I activated a Christian zealot, a fanatic, and his name was John. So I was expecting him because, again, my card in cardology is the 6 of clubs. I'm the John the Baptist card. You feel me? And Pope John Paul is something that goes hand in hand. These are people, these are like these iconic figures that we grew up on. I've always called it bullshit, but nonetheless. Peace, my brother. We know how iconic that particular figurine is represented in Christianity or in the minds of our people, especially indigenous people from the islands who were heavily under the thumb of Catholicism. They loved Pope John Paul. You know what I'm saying? Look, I already know how people feel about Pope John Paul. That's why I had to name my name Pablo. God damn it, I'm going to keep it real. Y'all niggas is different when it comes to Pope John Paul. Anyway. So I was looking, I've been looking for the John motif to pop its head up. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, Hurricane Ian is John popping his head up. Now, look at this. This is from 5 years ago. Right? This is from 5 years ago. So the hurricanes that took place 5 years ago, they all had biblical ramifications because not only did they have biblical names, but they started with a biblical event, which was Hurricane Harvey on August 28th, 2017, a few days after the total solar eclipse of 2017, which took place on August 21st, 2017. All of the hurricanes that came after Harvey, because remember they said Harvey dumped 1 trillion tons of water over Houston in a few hours. They said that was of biblical proportions. And then every hurricane that happened after Harvey, from Irma and Maria, they all hit biblical Catholic-dominated places. Look, it hit St. Croix first, right? My people's birthplace. St. Croix is St. Cross. Croix, or Croix means cross. So St. Cruz is the same as St. Croix. And they both mean the St. Cross, and it's the Twin Islands, right? So St. Croix got hit. DR got hit. PR got hit. Mexico got hit. Okay? All of these people, all of these places with heavy Catholic influences over them, all of these places that have been dominated under the thumb of the Queen, those places got washed up in 2017. We were calling this back then as evidence by these posts that I'm showing you. This is from 5 years ago when we had our thumb on this shit. So I want to talk to you about time cycles. You feel me? And why exactly Pope did. Look, I can't talk about nobody else but myself. I'm not into talking nobody else. I'm always going to put myself in the conversation because I'm experiencing life through my body. So I can only report on things that I have been aware of, cognizant of, and have also participated in. I'm not going to tell nobody else's story. Why not tell my own? Because I was there, you know what I'm saying? And I made sure that I was duly prepared. Like, this didn't happen in a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this shit in spurts, in like very intentional spurts. So 10 years ago, a few days ago, right, we were going to Mexico, to Cozumel, to the Mayan pyramids, like Nipsey raps about. And we were doing ceremonial rituals 10 years ago for now. So when these things align and you see me transfer into a Pope Pablo, understand that this stuff does not come out of a vacuum. You feel me? It's literally like laying foundation for 20 years in a row to say, yo, I'm going to take this vessel, this body of mine, and make sure I align myself with certain time periods. You know what I'm saying? So I can be there. I can be a crux. I can be a part of how this particular energy is being moved, right? So we can ultimately not only influence, but, you know, by the way that we become influenced by it is something that's more susceptible with whatever our intentions are. And when I came into consciousness, or when I got my charge, my very first lecture was in 2009. I studied from 2001 and kept my mouth shut until 2009 until I opened my mouth up. And when the book that I read in '09 that made me speak and made me start speaking about 44 was a book called Time in the Technosphere, written by a man named Jose Arguelles, who also wrote a book called The Mayan Factor. And what he charged me with as a reader of that book is he said, if you want to break the matrix, if you want to crack the matrix, and the cute part is the fact that I named myself the Blue Pill so I can keep niggas up off me. And I can have enough fucking peace to work in quiet rather than people running to you because you have a fanfare of a title. I was like, let me adopt something to make niggas run the other way, right? So I can have enough time to work on this master plan and not be motherfucking influenced or have to deal with the interference of fake celebrity. The shit that comes along in this community will distract you from your fucking life calling. If you start believing the hype and buying into this narrative, niggas are going to start blowing the flames up your ass, right? So you can play the role and they can participate in it. You feel me? And all of y'all is out there fronting. But being intentional, you know what I'm saying? And having, especially in this community, you have to utilize a level of duplicity to keep these niggas off of you, right? You have to. Because they will come around just to ruin your shit, just to be part of the narrative, even if it's part of the narrative that they was the ones responsible for ruining your shit. So 10 years ago, we took 36 people to the pyramids of Cozumel, right? The Mayan pyramids, knowing that, you know, if it was the end of the world, we wasn't just going to sit by and allow that to happen without our say being said. So we took them people all the way up there on top of that mountain or that pyramid or that mound. You feel me? And we did a mega ritual right in the king's chamber, in the temple. We was temple raiders at that moment in time, but not in the sense of raiding, but restoring, creating a frequency, creating a resonant frequency, you know, bringing a love vibration to that pyramid on that ley line so we could affect the rest of the planetary pyramidal grid system. Right, shout out to my brothers, Black Airbender, brother Gaia. It's a few other good brothers that are out here doing grid work, you know, emphasizing the importance of getting to these grids and doing these grid works. You know what I'm saying? We was doing ceremonial cleansing with the family. We did, you know, cleansing of the spirits. We was doing money rituals. We was doing rituals to release the stagnant energy from abortions and miscarriages. Feel me? Because that shit got an energetic signature that we're not talking about or dealing with as a spiritual community. We look goofy, not knowing that all of this heavyweight bad karma is coming from our own hands. Your aborted fetuses are being weaponized as the spirits that are coming back and blocking your ass because you have not done the necessary work to clip those cords and to send those ancestors back to a peaceful resting place so they can recycle themselves. We're creating a stink that can be smelt to the high heavens by the way that we are doing spirituality major goofy out here. You feel me? So, no, yeah. So this is 10 years ago, 2012, in Mexico. Niggas be going to wild trips to Mexico. Why you niggas ain't taking nobody to no pyramids? I don't give a fuck if they tell you that the pyramids is closed. Find you a way to get to them pyramids. We could find a way to everything else. Do the ceremonies, do the rituals. You know what I'm saying? Make yourself known to these ancestors. You feel me? Show up. Balance. Bring the balance. You feel me? It's not just enough to go to Kemet, nigga. We got, you know, technology right in our backyard. We have bells that need to be rung. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing this in 2012, but it took me 10 years prior to that to prepare for this. So this ain't come out of nowhere. I was preparing for this since 2001, 2002, disciplining myself, you know what I'm saying, bringing myself to a level of discipline, you know what I mean, that I could be of service to whatever cosmic force that I had wanted to contract to, you know, the forces of light or dark. I'm like, I want to be a force for light. You know what I'm saying? I already did the dark shit. I did that to death. Got my name put on the motherfucking wall of fame for that. I don't want to, you know, no. I want to maximize, you know, my contribution in the other way and make it so magnanimous that it floods out negativity, that shit is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just a second thought. It's not the primary thing. It's not who I'm defined by. You know? And my criminality was always in defiance of whatever the authority was, whatever the structure. You know what I'm saying? I was practicing retail reparations, you know what I mean? And then we was regulating bitch ass niggas. That was a public service. You feel me? I should have received a reward for that and a plaque. Shit. Yeah, so we was up there stunting all the way back then, you know, and that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that we find ourselves here in 2022, and there's still formidable fights that need to be fought. There's still heights that need to be hiked. There's still places that we need to go as a people. You know, all is not finished. And, you know, so now we're looking at Ian, like I said, and Ian has a very deep etymology attached to it. You know what I'm saying? Ian, again, is etymologically, it means John, right? It coincides with John, but let me find you the exact verbiage, you know what I'm saying, that goes along with this information on John. Hold on. Let's get to this, see what's popping. See what the universe is attempting to say through these catastrophic, you know, weather conditions that are almost repetitiously repeats from 5 years ago in 2017. Ian, right? It's a Scottish name. So all of the Scot information, just like Fiona. Fiona's a Gaelic name. All of this shit is dealing with the information or the place that the queen just passed through. She was passed through. They took mad time in Scotland with her body, right? All of this shit is reverberating and connected to this queen. She's the one who becomes the fulcrum or the throughway point between that shit that y'all looking at with medieval Europe that you're so fascinated with Game of Thrones, and Christendom, right? Christendom is the combining of state and church. It's when the church merged with the Roman Empire under Constantine for conquer and conquest under the sign and the symbol of the cross, which is really the sword for them. Okay? It's when they stole your birthright and they're out here parading, fronting, masquerading, and you buying into the lowest denominating concept of it. You feel me? So Johann, John, Even, right? Or Evan. All of these are the same related names, okay, of Ian. This particular energy that is bombarding the southern portion of the United States right now, right? Did y'all see the freakish nature of this particular storm? You know, it barreled through Cuba after Cuba ratified same-sex marriage, right? It destroyed Cuba. It destroyed Puerto Rico. Or was that Fiona? I can't keep up. Somebody help me out. Hold on, let me see something. Right? There you go. There you go. There you go. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, right? We can't even understand the level of ceremonial rituals that are taking place. Satanic plague and altar unearthed in the Queen's Holyrood Park in Scotland, right? So this is the underlying energy that they were overlaying when they was passing this queen's body through these particular places that are all connected by way of grid lines to the rest of the planet, my niggas. Like I said, you might want to tape this because you know how this shit go. You feel me? You know how this shit go. You dig what I'm saying? Yo, that lady left and she opened the portal. That was a major energy shift. I'm seeing more weird shit that I have ever seen in my fucking life. Ever since she's checked up out of here. Whatever portal, whatever door she opened, God damn it, it has let in some transdimensional beings that's different. These niggas are different. And it's the invasion of the body snatchers because, I'm seeing some things. I'm seeing some things. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing some things. Feel me? I'm seeing some things, y'all. I'm seeing some things. Hold on, what else we seeing? So yeah, it's a lot taking place. You feel me? And a lot of it is in plain sight. But if you can't decode, if you don't know what you're looking at, nigga, all this shit is a wash. It's just going over your head. Right? So Fiona and Ian, right? Channeling the John the Baptist energies also, John the Baptist, he does baptism, so is water. So is baptism by water by way of Ian. What's being baptized and what is it being baptized for, right? Why all of these religious themes? You feel me? What is it prepping us for going into the quote-unquote holy months? The Scotsman announced that the satanic objects were found on Winey Hill above St. Margaret's Loch in Holyrood Park in Edinburgh. Holyrood Park, which is also known as the Queen's Park, is a royal park that remains part of Holyrood Palace, the Queen's official residence in Scotland. You feel me? In Scotland. Holyrood Park was established by King David I of Scotland in 1122 AD as the royal hunting grounds for Holyrood Abbey. Holyrood Palace, also known as the Royal Palace of Holyrood House, started as a lodging within the abbey, but was eventually expanded into a substantial palace, which served as the principal residence of the kings and queens of Scots since the 16th century. So this place is where they found evidence of satanic rituals hidden in plain sight. You feel me? And they were utilizing the queen and her funerary energy to go across these particular sites and obtain this particular energy or hit these particular nodes and these particular sigils, you feel me, to further what I have, I don't want to say I don't have no idea, but I will keep those ideas, under wraps. I don't want to second that, it's just ugly stuff, man.
Hi guys, we're here. I'm so excited to share this with you. So this book right here was written in 1670, and it was basically like an introduction to globes. So the book states many times that the globe is not what we've been taught, but if we try hard, we can adopt it into our current knowledge. The author basically threatens that if you don't, you won't know anything about trigonometry or land navigation. Now get this, the author supports his claims by reflecting on the fact that people thought California was a part of North America when really it's an island. So he's saying basically, believe me, the world is a globe because California is an island. Oh my God. So I got curious. I was like, let me see some maps from this time period. And Lord and behold, they got California as an island. Boom, there goes another one. And again, and another one. Can't make this up. Every single map pre-1800s depicts California as an island. Why? How is it that the people from Asia, Spain, and England all made the same unique mistake of making California an island? So I look a little closer at California and it says Carolinas. Carolina is a female name of German origin that means free/beautiful woman. Let's run that back. The name ultimately comes from Germanic word Carla, who means free woman. Let's get deeper, y'all. In Las Surgas, Calafia was described as a black warrior queen who ruled the mythical island of California. The island was inhabited only by black women who lived like Amazon warriors. What? California could have possibly been ruled by black women? Montalvo, who is the author of that book, is said to have gotten a book that mentions Queen Calafia and her black Amazon warriors. So therefore, he was not the original author. It must be older than the date was published in 1510. Is this some ancient history we don't know about? This picture is showing men from Spain arriving to, I guess, the California island full of black Amazon warriors. Why would they add Carolinas if it was not inspired by historical events? Is this really a myth or a legend, or are they just not telling us something? Because these myths and legends collaborate well with these old maps and real events. And you can pause this and read this yourself. But African skulls have been found in the Americas. So are we Native Americans? And for those of you that think the author made a mistake by calling those women black, Europeans, Americans, Spaniards never mistook American Indians for Negro Africans. They always referred to the blacks of the Negro African type as Moors, blacks, or Ethiopian. It wasn't a mistake. But anyways, back to, this book. If they will lie about who the true Native Americans are, they will lie about the earth being flat. Guys, again, I'm so excited to share this with you. So this book right here was written in 1670, and it was basically like an introduction to globes. So the book states many times that the globe is not what we've been taught, but if we try hard, we can adopt it into our current knowledge. The author basically threatens that if you don't, you won't know anything about trigonometry or land navigation. Now get this, the author supports his claims by reflecting on the fact that people thought California was a part of North America when really it's an island. So he's saying basically, believe me, the world is a globe because California is an island. Oh my God. So I got curious. I was like, let me see some maps from this time period. And Lord and behold.
So, when I was in Arizona recently, right, and I was tapped into what was going on out there, what was being repeatedly told to me, not only based on my own research, but by Europeans of all people, right, who have been doing, because when you go into the gym community, when you go into mining community, you're going to come into contact with people who have got into caves. You're going to come into contact people who know where certain sites are at that are, off limits. You're going to come into contact with people who have seen some things. You feel me? So what they were explaining to me in Arizona is that Arizona was once part of an ancient empire that included Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico, right? Separated by the Colorado River, and then another empire that they were doing trade and barter with was California, or the land of the Khalifa. Now, I have said on many occasions that LA, Los Angeles for that matter, is what's considered a 44 resonator, right? It was settled by 44 Afro-Mexicans. They call them Afro-Mexicans. These are people that look like Lupita, right? Because y'all know Lupita's from Mexico. You feel me? So, hold on. Can y'all hear me? I'm still coming through. Let me know. Is it still broadcasting? Or is it froze? All right. So, LA was settled by 44 Afro-Mexicans, and it was a city that was incorporated on April 4th. So I consider LA as a 44 resonator city. But even when you go to LA, when they tell you the story of the settling of Los Angeles in the Union Station, right? Because LA has a metro, railroad. It has a subway system. So when you go to the Union Station, I believe that's what it's called, right? Downstairs, they got plaques on the wall, and the plaques on the wall, they tell the whole story, you know what I'm saying, of how it was settled by these 44 Afro-Cubans. And they also give you some backstory on Queen Khalifa, right? And there's a lot of places that you can go in California to get the story on Queen Khalifa and her Amazonians, right? It almost rings almost a resemblance to the story of the Dahomey. Almost identical, right? They were warriors. This was a warrior queen, and she had a tribe of warriors, and they were heralded, right? All through these empires, because the Mexim stretched all the way up. You feel me? The Mayan, it was not just relegated to what we consider to be Mexico. The Olmec made their way all the way up to D.C. The Olmec made their way all the way to D.C. So the Mayan, how far up did the Mayan come? You have to understand it. Like, even when I was in Arizona, February 14th was the 111th birthday of Arizona. Arizona has always been part of Mexico, just like California and the rest of them have. They just got that 114 years ago, or 111, whatever. God damn it. I'm saying all that to say it was only short time ago, a little bit over 100 years, did these people have possession, you feel me, of what's considered to be the West Coast. Majority of all of that was Mexico, right? A Mexim. So if majority of all of that was Mexico, and they just now were able to annex it off and create part of the quote-unquote continental United States, right? Then, we just have our perspective very much skewed by us not understanding geography, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that the majority of this stuff was always considered to be Mexico. Feel me? Trying to find this other video. Can't find the other video. I don't want to clip this just to prove a point. But yeah. The Olmec made it all the way up to DC, damn near. We know about Poverty Point. We know about the mound builders. We know about all of these ancient melanated civilizations that was here in the Americas. You feel me? We know about these things. Don't allow nobody to tell you any more lies. The truth is definitely stranger than fiction.
Because it was Martin V and Las Casas, the Knights of Genoa and the Knights of Malta, who took Africans not from Africa, Africans who had gone into Europe in 711 as Moors. It was Martin V.
They ain't their feelings because I shared that clip of our beloved brother, Dr. Ben, explaining that the first quote unquote slave trade, right, it took place with them sending Africans from Spain, right, who were deposed Moors over to the Americas, specifically to Haiti. And then they were sending melanated or natives, indigenous people from here, they were sending them to Spain. Now, they were having a I don't want to say transatlantic slave trade over there, because now slaves are being sent from Spain to the continent. Those slaves are now being sent from the continent back to the Americas. Those slaves from the Americas were being shuffled around different places in the Americas. You know what I'm saying? And then we get totally confused by saying, oh, we didn't come from here, or we didn't come from there, or this slave placed it in. All of this stuff is just confusion. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I say all of that to say that when I initially went to Mexico, when we initially went to Mexico, September 22nd to September 27th, 2012, on this Nodalez trip, we took 36 participants with us to the pyramids to do ceremonies, just to consecrate, you know, our existence. If they're saying this is the end of the world, right? We're saying that we have a different idea. You know what I mean? We want to let the cosmos know that we got a different plan altogether. And the book said, again, if you want to disturb, if you want to, you know, disrupt, if you want to, you know, if you want to break the matrix, you got to focus on the clock and the calendar, because those are the two devices that have us under universal lockdown by way of the Christian church, because we are reciting or, you know, acknowledging what's called a Jesus Christus narrative by utilizing a Gregorian calendar to tell where we exist in time and space. We are utilizing their tools, their faulty tools, to identify our existence in time and space, to consecrate where we exist in time and space. We're utilizing some faulty tools from some very non-scientific mathematical people. And we're just disrespecting our ancestors by using other people's systems that are backwards, that cannot get us anywhere. So it's just beyond just saying, oh, you got to put the Bible down. I wouldn't say, you know, I would say you have to get, you know, Christendom out of your mind. More so, you have to divorce yourself from this concept of a white sky daddy and everything that goes along with that. You feel me? So the other day on Moon Day, I received me. I got this watch in the mail. At the same time, the same day that we got the watch, you know, a brother came in here with a calendar. That it's a reform calendar where it's a 9-day strong as opposed to a 7. You know, it's so this particular watch counts counterclockwise as opposed to clockwise. This is right time. This is the way the time's supposed to operate. You know, we're supposed to be reading from right to left. This is going to reorientate your brain and your mind where you're not on Caesar's time. You feel me? Caesar's not on his time. So we not playing them games. And again, the same day that I got the watch in the mail, bro came and pops up out of nowhere. He from New York. And he showed up with the calendar. The same day, though. Feel me? The same day. So I could firmly say, yo, after all of this, 10 years later, you know, synchronizing these ceremonies and bringing people to the top of pyramids and the top of temples, you know, 10 years later, being able to bring, you know, hundreds more people to the top of the Crystal Mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my shit don't exist in a vacuum, and I can only speak for myself because I'm only responsible for me. I live in my body. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one bearing witness to what the fuck is taking place. So with all that being said, I know that we intentionally, I worked 10 years to get to where a place that I could open my mouth. And when I opened my mouth, you know what I'm saying? It took about, another 10 years for all of those things to manifest. But I'd be goddamn if they didn't manifest. And that's the beautiful part of it all. That's the part that you can motherfucking beat your chest to, because the proof is the proof. Receipts are receipts. This is not hypothetical. These are tangible results. You feel me? That I'm saying, look, the matrix is finished. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing left to talk about. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing left to talk about. We just got to let the chips fall where they may. You feel me? We just got to let these chips fall where they may. And if nobody's going to say a motherfucking good job, I'm going to say a good job to myself. I'm going to be like Pope did. Pope did. Because I know how intentional, this journey was. And I know what people was telling me couldn't be done. And I know why they were saying it couldn't be done. And I know all of the excuses that was made. And I was there when niggas checked in, and I was there when niggas checked out. I was there when niggas folded up their motherfucking flag. I was there when niggas fell on the sword. I was there when niggas slit their wrists. I was there when niggas drunk the cyanide and the acid and the Kool-Aid and all of that. And I still was like, God damn it, there's a motherfucking job to do, to be completed, and we gonna complete it. You know what I'm saying? And I will not allow myself to be distracted by that bullshit, because that reward, can never outweigh, the reward that comes with diligent dedication to your personal assignment. And we all got our own assignments. I'm saying, don't allow nobody to take you off assignment. Shout out to my brother 19 Keys. I was able to experience this milestone on my father's born day, which was the 27th on Tuesday. So this would be a day after all that other stuff took place. And then we crack 1 million views on our, EYL conversation. And I'm telling you, for me, it's not about the views. It's not a lightweight. It's not a lightweight accomplishment, but it's not about the views as much as it is about the level, the level of how high this conversation was. I was so intentional going into this conversation, you feel me, that I made sure that I put so many pieces in there for all 3 degrees, into the Apprentice Fellowship and a Master, right? There's so much information. There was jam-packed, right? There was so much information jam-packed into that episode of Earn Your Leisure, High-Level Conversations, that I'm like, if we did that in 3 months, we did 1 million views in 3 months, I'm like, what's 3 years gonna look like, right? What's the scalability of the views on that video in 3 years, and the reverberation of the change that it's able to implement in the hearts and the minds of the people who really hear what the fuck is being said for 3.5 hours. For 3.5 hours. So I'm like, y'all taking a 3.5 hour video that's longer than a movie, and you making this shit go viral, right? And after 3 months, it's still doing views. Like, this shit it accelerated from 700K to 1 million views in like a week. You know what I'm saying? It had a whole new resurgence. And ever since I've been getting attacked, all my media has been going haywire. That's why sometimes you should be thankful for the least thankful shit, because you just don't know where your blessings are going to come from. I'm like, yeah, more publicity. Come on. Bring it on. Y'all giving me all of this free press. God damn it. So this couldn't, again, allow me to have a little bit of fun with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, it always should be fun, but it always don't appear to be fun because the attacks be real. But nonetheless, be intentional. Do not allow anybody to deflect you from your assignment or from your mission. That's the only thing that I'm doing is I'm just showing you what intention looks like, right? After 21 years of service to humanity, to my own humanity, that is. After 20 years of doing Lord knows what in those streets. You feel me? After doing 20 years of Lord knows what in those streets. Right? Then we're able to make, impressions like this upon the consciousness of the planet. And that's true balance. That is Libra. That's truly Libraing in the season of Libra. You feel me? Because this is where I came from. This is where I came from. This is like from 1991. You feel me? This is probably from 1991. So, I know a lot. I know a lot about being a target. You feel me? But I also know a lot about perseverance. You know what I'm saying? I was like 4 feet something growing up my entire life, around 8 foot, 200 plus pound gorillas. Feel me? And these niggas was murdering people for their garments. For their garments. And I lived through all of that shit, man. Platinum, jewelry, gold, diamonds, the flashiest shit you could think of. You feel me? A walking lick and a half. And it never happened. It never happened, right? I was never robbed, right? And these are the things that you have to, this is the shit that you got to move with, that you got to prove to yourself that you got something walking with you. You have to know in these motherfucking jungles how blessed you are. You got to know that you are a force to be reckoned with on a spiritual sense, because you come to do the work of the Most High. Right? Whatever that means to you. You feel me? Whatever that means to you. So this same kid that was super ambitious, you know what I'm saying, at the age of 15, because I was probably 15 in this picture. You feel me? I was probably 15. And I was already like in the boosting Hall of Fame. I was already in the fashion. I was already a fashion icon at the age of 15, because I was an inspiration to so many people in my generation at that time, just for how we put our shit together and how fearless we moved. And there's no difference than now in terms of the level of fearlessness and, getting it done by any means. If only, if I'm the only one left, I'm going to get it done. I don't need no one. You feel me? All I need is one mic. All I need is one mic, because it's always just been me and my imagination. Everything else has just been additional. It's been additives. I got a twin brother. That's cool. You feel me? But it's really only been me, myself, and my imagination. I've been my own mirror. You feel me? And I mean, the benefit of having a twin is you get to see what you perceive to be yourself, externalize to yourself, so you can study yourself. But tonight we got the throat chakra Thursday thing going on here at the Royal Chamber, and I'm gonna go soon so I can turn this music on and we can open these doors and get started. Feel me? Oh, so this is what I wanted to leave on. This Boosie. Boosie's talking about Jeffrey Dahmer and the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, and he says that what he did was atrocious to children. And what I'm saying is what gangster rap did to children was even more atrocious, because we are a culture that cannibalizes our children, and the children participate in the culture where they cannibalized the adults. It was called the crack era. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I might even go motherfucking live again just to talk about this shit. Because nobody want to talk about it. And we're not going to get further. We can't make it up the mountain with that baggage. You can't. You cannot. You can't make it to the mountaintop until you take that motherfucking, that 800-pound backpack off of you and you set it down somewhere. And you set it down somewhere. You even kick that shit. It'll be buried to bury it. And give it a fucking funeral forever. For once and for all. So we can stop revisiting the horrors that we brought upon ourselves with our hands, right? Doing hand to hand with grams. You feel me? So yeah, what Jeffrey Dahmer did is despicable, but we to this day are cannibalizing our children with the music and the culture, and the children cannibalize their adults. They cannibalize their parents with crack cocaine. Just to go and buy material goods. In the Bible, I'm going to evoke it, 9:25, right? What good is it to gain treasures of this world to lose your motherfucking soul? Right? Oh. Let's go. Luke 25. Boom. For what is a man's advantages if he gains the whole world and loses himself or is cast away? You feel me? So how the fuck did you sell crack cocaine and turn grown people into zombies? Real life. We ain't talking about fiction. We ain't talking about The Walking Dead. We talking about real zombies. In real time. In real fucking life. Right? Participated in the proliferation of toxic substances to turn humans into a subspecies so you can have at it for material gain and feel like you white folks by putting they shit on. Because your fucking identity is bruised. You don't want to be the nigga who you are living in the skin that you in. So you feel that you can maximize what you consider to be a developmental dysfunction by equalizing it with materials. Because we just integrated and you wanted to sit in the burning house even though it was burning because you never watched the motherfucking color TV before. In the house, you always had to watch it outside through the window. Nigga. That's how they got you. With shiny shit. They got you with shiny shit. And you sold your soul. You contracted with the fucking devil himself. Himself. And then you flaunt this shit to this day and tell us that you on demon time. And these niggas don't know what you talking about. But I know. I was in the trap, nigga. I was in the trap and I wasn't selling drugs. I was looking at the demoralization, right, of my fucking peer groups and what they were willing to do. And they became a sub-fucking species in front of me, nigga. I seen it. I seen it become altered beasts, nigga. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. How dare you niggas not tell the truth? How dare you niggas not tell the truth? And these bitches was lined up when these dirty ass niggas who just got finished letting a motherfucking crackhead, a zombie, suck their dick, right? Then they was going to the school and getting light-skinned Keisha. And she was the pinnacle of everybody's, right? These were the goals. This was your aspiration. But she was giving it up to a nigga who was getting his dick sucked by a crackhead. He didn't have no standards. No standards. Right? These niggas was fucking dogs, bro. And they was paying crackheads to do this shit and made a sport out of it. Come on, you have no idea what the fuck happens at night in these streets. Nigga, are you serious? And these are the same men and women who contracted, right? Who made a blood contract and a blood oath with nefarious forces